All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Summertime Rendering, episode 17. We going into the past again?
Possibly. We have ourselves a connection to the Hishigata family.
Yep.
With So and Tokiko's parents, who not only were working, obviously,
Right.
with Heine, but they were promised something that Heine wanted as well, which is to live in a place without time, so that their family could be together again, and it wouldn't really wouldn't care whether or not any of them were shadows, because it's the
Right.
well, then yeah, that's actually how you need to be in order to survive this eternally. But no, you actually had already had your shadow made, Dr. Hishigata, and killed.
Yeah.
So no,
that was never something they were going to give you.
never on the table.
Yep.
Yep.
You were just another sucker.
Yep.
But-
And now we know who Shide was. Shide is a descendant of the Hishigata family. Knowing that this is Shide's backstory doesn't really tell us anything about his motivation, but it does tell us that, yeah,
It was a long time ago.
well, right, but also he's a bit different. The idea that we've scanned him, he had no data. There was some aspects about him that made him seem on the phone that one time, like that he was very much like a kid or something.
Oh.
Like there were some things about him where we were like, oh, maybe Shide is one of the kids in the area here.
Oh, yeah,
you
because
know?
there was still that thing with that one kid.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
are now seeing something that actually would point towards him being some kind of just person from a whole ass other time. Which, I mean, hey, Heine exists, so yeah, he's a shadow.
Right, like that only makes sense. But,
Right. But
like,
then why would he be a different shadow? What makes him a special shadow is the more like interesting thing there.
Yep. Are we going to see any of that for ourselves? Are we going to get any like crazy, time leaps back there? Are we going to get any like actual like first person perspective on our main boy Shinpei's parents when they died, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of things that are tied to the Shadows incident as a whole that are not anywhere close to the present time. So we'll need to either use that as a reference point for something else later, or we'll have to go and see that once Shinpei fully ascends into fourth dimensional, pretty much omniscient viewing of time and other, parallel dimensions and opportunities for choices and all that. But yeah, that's where we're at with Summertime Rendering. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
先生、私、新平と14年前の記憶を見たんです。先生とハイネが出会ったところ。
Yeah, it's probably good mention just for full disclosure.
先生はあの時、ぺたんこやったのに、ちょっと触ってみて。別に構わないが。
I knew that joke was going to be coming somehow.
これ。来るよ。
They do, yes.
体、ハイネから生まれたんやと思う。
Oh.
龍之介さんが殺されたあの時に、ハイネが弾けて別れたんが私。
Oh shit!
私もいつ
Oh shit!
おかしくなるんだ。
Okay.
Oh wow!
All right.
その時は私が殺してやる。
Is that just?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Okay.
I'll have to like.
私、自分のこと大嫌いやもんな。何よ。
This is the full therapist conversation.
Yeah.
短い指も、毛深いことも。だって、全部お姉ちゃんの逆やもんね。外見だけちゃうよ。成績も、性格も。やめてってば。あんたこそ、お姉ちゃんの。
Damn.
いつまで我慢するつもり。せめて自分の気持ちを
At
伝えなよ。
least, you'll feel so much better. Like not immediately after, but like a
Yeah.
month or two after.
Yeah.
菱ヶ岳は300年にわたり影に関わってきた。この秘密はもちろん受け継がなければならん。ただし後継者は一人だけだ。私の父も兄や弟ではなく私だけに伝えた。
Of course, yeah.
お前には荷が重い。
Because otherwise, eventually, it wouldn't be a secret.
Yeah.
お前は人の命を重いと考えるだろう。
そんな当たり前やろが。
だから無理だと思ったんだ。
Fuck.
Shit.
すまなかった。
You're a good man, but That's why I couldn't tell you.
影でも牛は牛やしな。千歳さんも千歳さんやし。やっぱり俺は自信ないかな。
優しいんですね。
He's just trying to see things from every perspective, you know?
Right. Bird's eye view.
いつですか？
Oh,
I
yeah.
was wondering if they were going to bring that up. Yeah.
意識が連続してるんですよね。
Right, even if your body resets.
目のクマ。
お、確かにずっと起きてるかもな。
ほら、無理したら飽きませんよ。
Well, I mean, he has gone to sleep in some of them, so it's just the more recent set of the loops have been so quick that, yeah,
Right.
everybody in the same room,
You
yeah.
need to smother yourself with that pillow. Oh, that's the cop. I thought... Yeah, I
No.
thought it was Nezu.
すぐ戻る。お前は外で待ってろ。
Proceeds to not wait outside.
なんで普通に入ってくる？
だ
God.
って
だ
影の気配がするんやもん。
Oh.
Ah.
心配いらん。あいつは動けやん先に。
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Wife, yeah.
ただいま。
Yeah.
まさか。
Or it could be his mom. Oh, his wife, yeah. Okay.
すまんな。こいつは一人で
Oh,
畑出て行
wow.
って影になって帰ってきた。
So he was set on edge about this being an incident, probably that's going to ramp up.
思い出したわ。
Yeah.
Him being one of the.
14年前のあの日、
Oh,
陽
wow.
介が殺された時のことをよ。
And she wasn't able to get him because...
Yeah.
Yeah.
わしには免疫があった。どないした？
Oh, it's because Ushio's there.
おかしい。
Ushio's there, yeah.
千歳さんをおかしくしたハイネの
いや
テレパシーを
Yeah.
奥さんも受信してしもたんやと思う。はネズさん待って。
悪いけどよ。二人にしてくれ。
Maybe don't use a loud
私
gun.
がハッキングしたら戻せるよ。元の奥さんに。
こいつはわしの妻を殺して変身した。
Yeah, I can't just forgive
妻
it.
の仇やろ。
Why have you
Kept
been
it
holding
alive
onto
this
her
whole
for 2
time.
こい
months,
つは
though?
よう殺さんか
Oh,
っ
I
た。
couldn't.
Gotcha.
影を駆除
So he was coming back here to kill her, yeah.
最大の仇であるこいつを生かしとった。頼む。わしにもけじめつけさせてくれ。
Yeah, he's already grieved long time ago. So this isn't. Yeah, that's why he was like, please wait outside.
まあなんだな。カオル。わしもじきに行く。
Yeah. Oh. He looked so awkwardly happy.
みんなの安否はそうだ。
Okay.
Oh, Nezu's...
お
Okay.
はよ。
Yep. He just went for a little trip. Probably took 2
Right.
hours.
The I'll join you soon is probably the... when all of this is over.
Yep.
今日23日は
Yep.
狩りの日になる。
Go on the
Awesome.
offensive.
明日の決戦に備えて影の戦力を可能な限り削いでおくのだ。まずは南雲先生が葬儀で見つけた影が標的だ。
Mm-hmm.
南雲チームが子飼い時計を、俺たち牛尾チームは人淵家を調べる。
Wow, we're getting a full-on, like, assemble your team, go
Uh-huh.
different places RPG
Yeah, like-
mission here.
Mass Effect style, like, okay, you're on defense, you're on... Yeah.
ミオはアランを手伝う。影見を護衛に残し、宋にも小舟にとどまってもらう。
ほな、今日はお姉ちゃんとしんちゃん二人っきりなんや。
あ、うん。
なあミオ。
God, Shadow Mio just has no chill.
Yeah.
And so, like...
Oh my god.
お姉ちゃんの髪の毛なんやけど、本物の。どういうこと？
そうか。
When did you get
Whoa,
that?
yeah.
とか部屋に落ちてたのを集めたんよ。
Okay.
髪の毛にはお姉ちゃんのデータがあるやろ。ちょっとした回復薬みたいに使えるかなって。
Whoa, we're getting, like, RPG
Okay.
magic items.
Yeah.
髪の毛。
Ah. Okay, right. I was
Added extra effects of the long rest.
Yeah, yeah.
Get all uses of your hair back. Yeah.
Mhm.
しんちゃん。後で私話ある。
Okay.
絶対無事で帰ってきてよね。
わかった。なんかあったらすぐ連絡しろよ。
Yeah.
Because Mio's story has been suffering, I'm like, okay, so now everything has to go wrong.
近くに気配はない。このうちにはもうおらん。
Oh, Heine's like probably
cleaning up her tracks, maybe?
yeah, and probably also bringing shadows to the cave for defense
人
potentially.
淵かなえは学校の先生だ。通称
Okay.
ブッチ
Yeah, because they can start to be a bit more aggressive here.
Yeah.
Because they just need people to not catch on for the next 24 hours.
Right.
来たで。おい見てみ。あいつの髪金髪や。目の色も青いんやで。外人や外人。
外人。
外人。あ？
Hey, here she comes! Oh! Wombo combo!
1, 2!
こら！何やってんのあんたら。
ブッチ
Oh.
悪ないもん。私は悪ないもん。
そうやね。
Oh!
牛尾さんは悪くない。確かに牛尾さんは強い。でも暴力はあかん。ほんまに強い人はな、誰かを傷つけたりせん。
You have no
そ
enemies.
れ意味わからん。
あんたのこの手は誰かを傷つけるんちごてね。手つないだり撫でたり抱きしめたりするのに使ってほしいね。
Oh.
あいつらと手つなげてよ。最悪。
Ew, gross.
はい。
これからも牛尾さんのことよう見といちゃってね。あんたが頼りよ。
はい。
Oh,
次は
wild to
手を
think
分離
about
する前にちょっと考えてみてね。
that, like, this could have been a shadow at the time. Who's to know, you know?
Hmm.
But this really good lesson is being taught, you know.
牛尾さんの正直なところ、先生大好きよ。
And regardless, it's the, you know,
Mm-hmm.
all these people that we know that we're going to have to, you know, kill and
優し
stuff.
かったよね。
Yeah.
そうやな。
Yeah, it definitely was a person at the time, most likely, in terms of timing of things.
新平、もしかして緊張してる？
Yeah,
そらな。
of course,
こっち
yeah.
は二人だけやからよ。
Right.
私が
And
ついてるん
Heine
や
also knows where he
大丈夫よ。
is.
新平はいつも通り俯瞰して落ち着きの。新平乗って。
Oh, watch it be the two kids.
あらあら元気がよろしいね。
Oh, that's
Wow.
so terrifying.
いい食事になりそう。
Holy shit.
新平、子供らの後ろ。
Whoa!
大きなったな、新平くん。元気にしてた。
Poof.
はい。人淵先生。
All right, kids. So, yeah, that happened. Tell your parents.
Mm-hmm.
悪い影といい影が戦ってて、牛はいい影。
Yeah, she just tells them.
Yeah.
安心してね。悪い影は私らが全部やっつけちゃるから。
Surprisingly, she was a shadow this entire time.
いつまで登ってんの？
降りられないんだよ。お前がここまで。
You put me here.
ペって尻に好かれるタイプやな。
そんなんちゃうわ。ええか。
Yes,
これは極小作
totally.
戦やからな。大人には言うたらあかんぞ。
うわ妖怪なんかすげえ。
ここは楽しみようないな。
Yeah.
観光客は運ばれて。
Bait.
くそ。ハイネは昨日の傷を治すために
Ah.
いつもより人を食べてるんや。
アホめ。いくら他人を食べても治らんのに。小早川しおりも、ハイネも。
Whoa.
この世におらんのやからな。
Hmm.
後ろ
Uh,
あれ、私、今なんか言うた？
ちょい待ち。
Well, that's
oh,
concerning.
that's very concerning.
奴らが一番嫌がるんが祭りの中止か。なんとかして中止にできやんかな。
そのためには
Yes,
やっぱりあの人に会う。
Hey, we're
finally!
finally seeing.
Seeing the priest. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Took us long enough.
初めから俺は
Yeah, we know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
初めて俺が殺された場所。ヒルコ様。ここが全ての始まりだ。
And in that time, he's already been turned into a shadow.
Well, Ushio would sense him.
Oh, yeah.
少しカリキリさんに話があってきました。時間ありますか？
ええ
Actually, even if you don't have time, I'll have to insist.
Ushio, thoughts? Okay.
Okay.
Save that for next episode.
Yep.
All right, so we got ourselves, people are moving around, places are being assembled, Shinpei rested, Shadow Mio is trying to really push for
We need to get
Mio here.
Shadow Mio a back brace because of how she's carrying this situation.
I mean, she can't, she could lead a horse to the water, but she can't make it drink,
like, starts kicking the horse, it's like, hey.
Fucking go.
Yeah.
Like, I am feeling pretty much everything you felt.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't probably, no, that's the thing. She's
fucking
probably
dumbass.
getting regular updates.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah. All right, so we got a couple reveals this episode. One of them was one that kind of blindsided us, but it's the one that I'm like, oh, if that's just something that makes logical sense from the standpoint of, we don't know how Shadow Ushio came to be a thing at all. Sure, she came from something from Heine.
Yep.
That's interesting because then it's the reason why she has some of the Heine type abilities here is potentially really interesting here.
And it does retroactively fix that one part that seemed really odd where when they went up to the shrine, the one like unintelligent shadow copied Ushio and then was destroyed, and it's like, wait a minute, then wouldn't that mean there were 3 Ushios, which can't happen?
Yeah.
But no, okay. So yeah. And if it is something where it's just like, hey, we're getting closer to the end and there's been a lot of like open threads, over the course of this show and I need to start tying them back together, cool. Like the fact that we were getting complications and developments off of that in the same episode where we were told it did feel a bit like, oh, okay. But
yeah, it just kind of was like, sure.
This is something the show's doing.
Yeah, I think it's also something where we were probably supposed to have kind of been guessing that, and this is Ushio figured it out. Okay,
Yeah. I will be surprised if people guessed that. Yeah. But
I think it's more just that as far as what Ushio was a shadow that seemed to be
like she was different because she could like hack Heine.
No, she was not just different. She was like in some ways better. Like she was something extra. That aspect of it being that there's an actual origin here where it's she, if anything, just scanned Ushio to kind of transform into her.
Right. And I guess that it doesn't have to mean that we can't get like the cool stuff where like we eventually get the real Ushio's perspective and like all the stuff that she did while she was time looping and everything.
Right.
Because theoretically, even if the current Ushio came from Heine like directly, she would still have all the hunger and all that stuff that Heine has, right? Like there would still be the shadow elements there. And then, that way we can still get the awesome stuff that happened with real Ushio, so that it's not just, happenstance, it was just a random thing that happened, and so there you go. That's how you came to be. But
yeah. But the episode gave us only a couple really strong conflict points to bring up, which is that the Hishigata family picked its inheritors, basically, of its whole legacy based on how willing they were to be okay with people dying and So couldn't do that because he valued human life too much.
Which is a hell of a thing to hear a doctor character
and
say.
Your dad.
And your dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I like that he brought up like, hey, okay, that's cool. You can say all that stuff to me and you can apologize to me. You need to fucking apologize to Tokiko. Like, because that's
you were basically unable.
Yeah.
We understand why it'd be difficult to.
Right.
But the idea that you had this put on you as a kid.
Yeah.
We understand the trauma associated with that. And parents can push things onto their kids. But you duplicated it.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is that while I understand the motivation and stuff when your wife passes away,
that wasn't the case.
That wasn't the case all the time. Your wife was very much alive for large portion of your life.
Yep.
In fact, the majority of your life.
And in fact, did you tell your wife before she died? Like was she in on it too? And it's this is something that we have to do?
I think she was absolutely in on it. There's no way that they could basically keep it hidden forever.
Yeah.
If anything, he'd have to pull the I'm working late card like 1,000 times, and still he would end up, slipping or doing things there. So she absolutely was probably aware of it. But the difference is that even if she wasn't aware of it, the idea that then he makes the decision to bring Tokiko into it.
Yep.
At some point before her age right now, we're already dealing with kids. She was even younger. In fact, the way that she talks about it, it happened probably before the age of 10.
Yep.
Like, this is not a new thing for her.
Not at all.
So that's the kind of thing where,
it's messed up.
It's messed up. So now we know that how this is all going to lead into the Shide whole kind of history there at some point, in that, yes, this is a legacy of sorts that Shide was probably passed on to as well, and ended up taking it probably the furthest and had some kids or something like that, but ended up either abandoning them or something. There was probably some schism point in the Hishigata family timeline that will be interesting for us to explore, and if they want to at some point.
And I feel like they might have said this in the previous episode, but I can't remember of if Shide was the one that founded the hospital originally. Where it's like he sort of started this building this facility that could support the whole thing. But
the other big conflict point being one where if this is what happened with Hishigata, well, now we can kind of understand a little bit of not just the motivations of him, but the motivations of Heine being one of wanting to have basically just a family. So are we going to be able to empathize and or save Heine before this is all
right? Hence the setting
over.
Up with Shinpei being like, well, I can
see from his perspective.
Yeah, which is great for the bird's eye view kind of a thing, but also just the, hey, let's be real. Could any of us actually say for certain what we would do in a situation where it's we're trying to save a loved one, right? Because that is what we're doing here, right? Like the big commission basically from Ushio was save Mio, right? Like, so
now he's doing all this because, well, yeah.
At its core, it comes back to there are people I care about and they're in danger.
Yeah, and the wild thing is that he doesn't even really remember that incident at all. Like he has not actually thought back to that moment ever in the loops or anything like that. So yeah, we are actually at Hiroko Shrine now.
Yes.
Finally. I love that the anime acknowledges it through Shinpei of
I've been wanting to come here since the beginning.
Yeah. So many things distracted me, but now we're finally here where it all began. And it's that's really funny, cheesy line to say where it all began. But I feel like that's a little bit of almost like a spoiler from the anime kind of being Shinpei randomly says something that's far truer than he actually really knew, and saying no, actually at this shrine, hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, shrine. It actually all did begin right here,
Oh, yeah. The
Itsunagi and Itsunami were right here, you know?
The more we get things in the present being tied up, and being okay, we're gonna clear this up. We're gonna so Ushio was came from Heine and things like that. It just shifts my focus more and more to the all right. So we're prepping for the giga time perspective. Let's look at this whole thing.
Let's
the
look
whole
at the entire enchilada.
Yeah.
The full casserole, the deepest layer of the lasagna.
Yep.
And I'm worried and excited for that because I feel like this show has a couple things that are still scaffolded upon other scaffolds.
Yeah.
So you can really fuck it up with a time perspective shift of some kind here.
Right, the whole bit with the eye just seemingly spontaneously popping out of Heine in the first place was that specifically so that they could have that as an explanation for why Ushio exists? You know, right? Like there's elements of it where it's the
like, we get that that's their explanation for why Ushio is the way she is,
right.
But why the eye popped out to begin with.
Yeah, that's something that didn't really make sense to us when it
so
happened in the first place.
Those are the kinds of things that can get revisited through we need the Heine perspective. We need to know what Heine's been going through.
Or for the show to just be like, hey, we're just going to give a few explanations, but eventually we're going to say that's what it is, and the reason is because, you know.
Yes.
And because we can't keep going and giving explanations
For
and stuff.
everything, yeah.
There are some, like, with a plot this complicated, there are going to be some things that we just weren't able to quite figure out in a way that is as satisfying as some of the other explanations, and so just roll with it. We're going to keep going because we've got places to be.
Yeah. For instance, our understanding of shadows keeps getting stretched as well. And that is another thing that if we go through any kind of deep backstory stuff for the nature of shadows and Hiroko and all that, we can end up in areas where there's almost too many explanations, and we end up having to contextualize everything against itself.
I gotta say, though, I really like the idea of, as a shadow mechanic, of Mio being like, I found a hair of Sis's when, like, just,
Original.
like, just, yeah, of
Real.
OG Sis in the house, right? Okay,
Yeah, when she
cool.
was panicking and mourning and everything.
yeah,
and it's
exactly.
these are the last little pieces of her that I have.
Right. And
Sure, I'd hold on to them.
And this is something that you can use to regenerate parts of yourself, but not like physical wounds. It's no, you used up a lot of hair, and just...
Do you want to copy a bunch of hair?
Do you want to copy a bunch of hair?
There you go.
That's a wonderful way to do it, because it's like you're holding to the rules that were established beforehand, but Ushio is getting more than just like that single hair in like recreating, because it's all hair. Just make more, right? And I just thought that was really fun, because I was worried it was going to be like actual like physical wounds or something. But
yeah,
that was great.
Estus flasks. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Shadow Mio was going to bat for herself, which was hilarious. Something that we predicted a while ago of like, this is something that will be really fun when it eventually kind of gets brought up more bluntly and abruptly. We saw it a little bit before,
and now we're
seeing it like very strongly being done here, to the point that Mio's actually willing to confess at some point. I have no, like, this is something where I like that it's not being done for the meta reason of, oh, we need to have a love triangle or something, because there literally is none. Mio has a crush on
Shinpei.
On Shinpei in the same way that So has a crush on Mio, but there's no actual like way that we're going to see any shifting up of the way things are currently going.
Exactly.
For the sake of drama.
Shinpei and Ushio might never even acknowledge in this show that they like each other.
I think that's totally not the case. I think OP very much points towards it.
No, totally. Yes.
Hey.
But from the standpoint of like, from the meta angle, I think it absolutely will happen. From the standpoint of where these characters are, I would be perfectly satisfied myself if it was just, no, we know that they like each other, and they'll figure that out at some point in the future. Right.
We don't need to see them 10 years from now. That's
exactly.
True. Yeah. But, all right, the day before the festival, let's talk to the priest. And get some answers. So, y'all, without further... thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. So you can chat with us in the community there about the show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out my Baldur's Gate 3 Let's Play on Twitch. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.